Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Beth, for those of you who are new around here, and I do childminding, homeschooling, grocery hauls, all that kind of vlogs. So yes, today I thought I'd give you a little kind of month update, and I might do this kind of every month about homeschooling and how that's going. I'm currently sat in the car outside school waiting. So my Josh, my husband, has taken the older two along with some of their cousins on a school trip to climb Scarfell Pike, and so they're away. So I've got 3 days to myself with the littlest at school. Like, it's amazing. So today is the first day, and then basically we're having our extension done at our house. So it's quite normally what I do is pick the kids up, walk across the road, walk through my house, get in the car, go to the other school, because I do 2 pickups when I'm childminding. But when the builders are there, it's just quite tricky to do that. And so I tried to park outside the school, which is literally just like outside the back of my house. But I was out and I thought, oh, and there's actually only 1 space on the road now, so I'm glad I got here a bit early. But I thought I'd just make this video in the car while I'm waiting. So here's our monthly update. I'll start with Hope, and so you can see how she's getting on, and then I'll go on to Sam. And I thought it was just fun because things really changed, and it's really interesting. Like, I feel like we've got into like a whole rhythm or whatever, and then things change, and or I'm kind of feeling like, oh, we're doing, they're struggling with one thing and then it changes and they're not struggling with that anymore, which is very nice. So I've got my notes here, but I'm also like trying to look at them and hold them. So if I'm looking away, that's where I'm looking. So first of all, Hope. So she's been doing this GCSE RE course since April, I think it was, to do, the plan is to take the GCSE next year. So although she's only like in year 7, next year she'll be in year 8 technically. We want her to do 2 GCSEs a year starting from next year is the plan, so that, I mean, once she's got 5, like, I presume she doesn't really need any more, but we'll just see when we get to that. But just that she can do them kind of in her own time and doesn't have to rush it. So she was invited to do this RE GCSE course, and so she's been doing that now. It all brings up back all the memories to me, and it's actually quite hard work. And so each week there's like homework to do, and it's like often like a 12-mark question, like debating a statement. Pretty standard. However, it reminded me how hard it is to do those kind of questions, and so I've been really helping her. So for the first few weeks, like, we were doing it together. I mean, it started off with me practically doing it because she couldn't even quite work out where to retrieve the information from on her PowerPoint slides or in her books or anything. So then it kind of got slightly better, but basically, like, every time she was just seemed to be like staring off into space. And there was a time like a few weeks ago, and I thought, oh, I don't think she's going to be able to do this, because she can't do these, like, if these questions are obviously way too hard for her, like, is she going to get this? And then I thought, oh, should I be doing it like with her? Should I just leave her to it? Anyway, the last few weeks is just something's clicked and she's got it. And the last kind of 2 homeworks, I've just said to her, right, you do it, like, you get all the information, you sort it all out, and then I'll just have a look at it at the end and we can see how we can tweak it. And we did that for like 2 weeks ago's homework, and then this last week's homework she did so well, and she did it all herself, and I didn't need to change anything, so that was amazing. And then we send it to the teacher each week and she emails back her comments, and she got like 10 out of 12 marks, which was really good. She is also coming on in her English, so she does online English lessons, and comprehension is like her worst. She hates comprehension, and so she's doing her comprehension this week, and that's like a pre-recorded lesson. So I was watching over what she was doing just as she was doing it to be nosy, and there was like 3 boxes to fill out, and the first one was already got stuff written in it. I said, oh, is that the teacher's? Because it was really well written. I thought, oh, it couldn't have been her. I said, oh, is that what the teacher like put there to show you an example answer? And she's like, no, I did that. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, you're so good, like, you're really coming on with your comprehension. And I think she's really getting it now. And when you just see them like jump from like one level of understanding to another. So yeah, that was really kind of lovely to see. Her maths. So I don't know a lot about their progress in maths really, because Josh handles the maths side. But like we've always said, next year she'll do RE and maths GCSE. And then a few weeks ago we were out somewhere and I was telling someone about it, and he was like, oh, I don't know if she's ready. And I was like, well, you need to tell me that, because I was going to apply for her maths GCSE in October or whenever you apply. And he then the other day said he thinks that she is probably ready now. He says he thinks she could probably get a 6, which is a pass, isn't it? But it doesn't, like, the thing is, you don't really want to put her into an exam unless you know she can kind of do really well, because you know, look, not that a 6 is a bad mark, but if she could potentially do better. So I think it looks like she will be able to do that, which will be just really helpful for her, and lovely to kind of get it out of the way. Yes, she has really discovered a love of looking after young children. So like sometimes when I pick the littlest up from school, we'll go to the park on a Monday or a Friday, and she really enjoys looking after like the littler siblings, kind of the 2, 3, 4-year-olds. And she's talking about, you know, when she's a bit older, doing some babysitting and stuff, and it's really lovely to see that kind of skill develop. Like that was never a skill that I had, I think because I just didn't really know what to do with babies and young children. But she's also started going to forest school with Sam, which I'll talk about in a minute when I talk about him. But she's been looking after lots of like the kind of 5, 6-year-olds there as well, and she really enjoys it. She enjoys being like, you know, the grown-up one, and they seem to like respond really well to her. So that's really lovely for her. And finally for her, reading. So she is like me, like she likes to read if she can find a good book, but you know, like for example, Sam reads a chapter book every night. Like she's not as quick as him, and she really struggles to get into reading, but she's recently been reading some Jacqueline Wilson books and absolutely loves them, and has been, you know, reading kind of as much as she can, but has been getting through them one by one. So that's really lovely to see her enjoying reading and doing those things. So moving on to Sam, he this month got his autism diagnosis. So it's actually only taken kind of about 2.5 years, which is quite impressive really. In fact, possibly less than that. It's like, so he was in year 3, but I'm trying to think where and about in year 3 that we put the forms in to the doctors, and then now he was like in year 5. But yeah, so it's been a 2.5 years ish, and to be honest, it makes absolutely no difference. They don't really offer much support. It's like, oh, here's a website, but it's just nice to know. I mean, I feel like we've known for a long time. The first assessment that he had, which was like last August, so almost a year ago, within 30 seconds of us walking in, the assessor looked at me and said, yeah. So kind of that for me was more the diagnosis in a way. Like I was like, it's not just me making it up, like there is actually, you know, someone else agrees with me. So yeah, to be honest, it's made no difference, but interesting to know. We also went for an occupational therapist assessment for, well, I thought it was for his writing, because he really struggles to write and like hold a pencil. But they assessed like all balance and stuff, and he scored quite low on quite a few of them, so it's quite likely he's got dyspraxia, but they're kind of, we need some more tests to look into that. But it's just helpful to know, like say for example with the dyspraxia test, it's interesting to know because like he struggles with riding his bike, and he hates riding his bike on the road because when cars come next to him, it makes him get really wobbly. And I thought actually that's just because his balance isn't so good. And like it's just good to know that, isn't it? It's not like, it is obviously something you can work on, but he will be a lot slower than kind of your average child. So he was going to forest school, and then basically lots of children his age left, and then it was like lots of kind of 4, 5, 6-year-olds, and he really didn't like it. So he was like, right, I'm leaving guys, it's my last day. I didn't say anything to them, but they did this lovely post on Facebook about how it was his last day and he's been there for years. And then during the Easter holidays, we decided that Hope was going to go, and their cousin was going to go too. So now they all go together, and he's back again. And I turned up on the first day, and I was like, see, he can't stay away, because he really enjoys it, and they're really enjoying it too. And it's lovely because they all three get to spend the whole day together, and they've made some other, you know, like kind of joining more people in their group, and some of the older kids are back too. So with that kind of thing, it changes, like the number of children there and who's there changes like every half term. So that's really lovely, and they're really enjoying that. And it's just so nice because he doesn't like being outside, but he's really enjoying that. His English is also coming on really well. So he struggles with writing, but we let him type on the laptop. And I found these story starters on Twinkle, and he is using them, and he's writing these lovely stories. And I say it has to be, he has to write at least 300 words, or is it 200 words, something like that. And but he's been writing loads more, and he really enjoys it, and he's got these really good ideas in his head. But because the writing, like physically writing, is so hard for him, it's hard for him to get them down on paper. But with being able to type, he's been absolutely fine. So it's really lovely to see, like, you know, what's in his head and seeing that come onto paper. He's also always really into reading, but he's just found a new author that he likes. So he's quite specific about who he likes, but like once he finds someone, he'll read like everything they've written. And he's got quite a few now that he likes, but his current one is called Ross Welford. I'll put some of the pictures up now so you can see what his books are like. He really enjoys them, and it's lovely. And he's taken some of those away with him now. Well, I just get them all out. What we often do is go into Waterstones, take loads of pictures, and then I go on their library page on the internet and order them all in on the library, because there's no point buying them because he'll only read them once. It's like £8 a book. I mean, it would cost me loads of money. Oh, and lastly with Sam, I've noticed that he really likes sensory things. So when we're at home, as I say, anyway, apart from forest school, he doesn't like getting out. But when we're at home, I've put some sand in our tuff tray outside, and he keeps nipping outside and just like doing a bit of building a sandcastle. I've got this brick maker, and he's making bricks. And then he'll come back in again, but that's really unlike him. And I thought maybe he likes kind of more sensory things, so I'm going to try and introduce more sensory things to him. He's really good for his fine motor skills anyway, and I found that interesting. He's always also been doing an art project that he kind of saw somewhere else and has done all himself. I'm going to show you in another video because it's been amazing, and for someone that's not very arty and finds like writing and things like that very hard, he's not really one for projects, like to start doing a project. Hope all the time thinks of projects, does them, like making things. He's not like that, and so he has done this amazing kind of art project, and it's really lovely. So I'm going to show you that in a separate video. But yes, I'm about to run out of time on my camera. Thanks for watching, guys. That's how we've got on this month, and I'll do one another and next month too. See you soon. Bye.